Hey, it's me, Wanda B, and you are tuned in to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. It's Sunday. It's fun day. I love Sundays. Here in Chicago, it is snowing. It is like maybe, how many inches of snow?
Probably about 4 or 5.
5, 6. 6 inches of snow. But you know what? I'm not going to complain because the last few winters we've had great winters. So this is a fun day. I have with me one of my dear friends, Jada Tennille James. There's so many commas like behind her name, educator, author, radio host, podcaster. She has a phenomenal group of phenomenal women, and that's the name of the group on Facebook of over 30,000, 40,000.
We are close to 50.
50. It was 30 when I joined.
We are very close to 50. I'm excited.
50,000. You hear that? That's a huge number of women in the world, because they're all over the world, that are part of her group. So just a phenomenal woman doing phenomenal things. An author, when I said author, you have a book title and a show that's Overcoming Obstacles, correct?
Absolutely,
but now you have one with marriage too, right? You have a couple more books since I've talked to you.
So we have the series. The first book is titled Overcoming Obstacles. Then we had Overcoming Obstacles Through Prayer. And now we have Overcoming Obstacles in Your Marriage.
I love it. Married 20 years?
20 years, yes.
20 years married. So she has some little knowledge on this relationship thing, because He Said, She Said is a show that's based on having men and women learn how to communicate in a healthy manner as best as we can. We have a Facebook group, nowhere near 50,000. We got a little 8,000 people. But,
it's fun, though. I love it.
But it's for relationships. Woo, I can see why we need some work, y'all. In our relationships, but we have fun. It is definitely what a battle of the sexes. I hate to use the word battle because I don't want it to be a battle.
But we battle sometimes.
But we do battle sometimes. So I guess learning how to have healthy battles.
Yeah, definitely.
Which today wasn't that healthy, y'all. Not today in this group, and not with this one topic. So that's why I was like, oh, let's talk about this. So, guys, join my Facebook group, Women. If you want to go over Phenomenal Women, is just for women, guys. So you don't even want to deal with 50,000 women. I don't think y'all be trying to not deal with the 1 or 2 or 3 y'all.
They try to get in sometimes, but
they try to get in. But please join. He Said, She Said. Look for the bumblebee. Look for the yellow and black logo on Facebook, because there's more than one. You know, you gotta have copycatters. So there's more than one He Said, She Said, but you look for this one. This is what you're looking for, and join our group. And so this topic actually that we're going to talk about, well, let's talk about T.I. and Tiny first.
Okay.
So we want to talk about some hot topics today. This is our Sunday hot day. It's not that hot outside, but it's not that cold.
It's not that cold.
It's not that cold. It's not that hot.
It's a little aggravating out there, but it's not that cold.
But it's hot in here, because we're going to talk about this. This topic has been really getting people animated on social media, talking about what had happened with, and I'm going to get to your Facebook comments. If you guys are commenting on Facebook, you know I always love to have you as my internet co-host, my virtual co-host. So please chime in. I will definitely mention your comments on the air as soon as my laptop. If y'all watch the show, y'all know me and my laptop, we just been having it out. We need an Overcoming Something book. I don't know if Jada wrote a book on it, but I need to overcome this
technology. We need to overcome our obstacles with technology nowadays.
I have to overcome my obstacles, because she takes, I call her she and he, and maybe she's one of those days where I got to use a bunch of pronouns. I don't know which pronoun for my laptop, but he, she, they won't come on. It takes her 2 days to come on. I really got here.
She's temperamental.
An hour earlier just to turn on, and she's still thinking about it. She's like, "What? I'm cold. You didn't warm me up." She a woman. Yeah, she acted kind of girlish.
I believe technology is a female.
I need to bring her some gifts. What you need, boo? An expensive dinner? I'm gonna work it out with me and my laptop. She's not on yet, so I'm going to refer to my lovely co-host, educator, author. Give me some more of your comments.
Let's see. Speaker,
radio
host, educator, author, creator,
mom, wife, all of them other ones too.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, update the people. Now, you all may have heard. If not, Jada's going to give you a quick overview of what's been happening with T.I. and Tiny in the news.
So it appears that this very famous couple are alleged to have sexually abused and possibly drugged a young lady, but the couple does say that they've had some problems with this woman in the past.
Oh.
So I don't know if she's an opportunist or if she's telling the truth, because it's so hard nowadays. You know, we have the whole Me Too movement. I mean, you know, when someone claims to have been victimized, we can't shut them down. We just can't, you know, not believe them. But at the same time, they're celebrities with money, and we do have opportunists out there. So what do we do?
Oh, so that's the fine line. And that's what I've been seeing on social media as I've been reading, as people who say that not me, but all of us out here, when we talk about it, are rape enthusiasts. I think I saw somebody say. I saw someone also say, I mean, I've seen people on each side of the fence. So we're just going to have a discussion about it, what you think. And then, because I do think sometimes we can take things away from this one. If you're single, dating guys, what to think, or families or people or couples who may engage, something you may want to think about when you're welcoming people into your relationship when things go wrong. Or what you may want to prevent to make it go right. I don't know. Can't help you really with them how to make it go right, but I do know the story is how to make it go
to each
wrong.
his own.
Exactly.
Who wants to do whatever they want to do in their bedroom, in their personal lives. Agree. However, like you said, you have to be extremely careful when you are inviting someone else in. I mean, I heard Candy Burris, I heard her say that if her and her husband wanted to invite someone else in, they sign off on an agreement.
I saw that they signed the NDA, non-disclosure
agreement. Yes.
No, I heard this girl did, I think. But that doesn't actually mean you can hold them to it, right?
I mean, it's a legal binding agreement, but if someone chooses, I mean, people choose to break the law all the time.
That's true.
So if she did sign something, and because I mean, T.I. is saying, and what I'm reading, that he's never forced anybody to do anything. He's never drugged anybody against their will.
So what I read in this is that this is a woman that they have frequently invited into their relationship, almost to the point I read that T.I. said that she calls the woman's children call T.I. Uncle T.I. And this is someone that they've had a mutual relationship with. And I don't know what made it go sour, though. I haven't read that, because it sounds like they were all in agreement and all was well when this threesome, but something went wrong, and I don't know what went wrong with it. I guess what I read was that she knew, at one point in time, it was said that in order to come in, you're going to have to take these drugs. You're going to have to take this ecstasy or whatever pill it was. You're going to have to pop this pill. She said, okay, she was in agreement. We'll pop pills, have fun to come over. But he invited other people while she was under the influence of the pills, invited other people to partake in their menage a trois.
So if I
wanted to just say that word.
And you said it so beautifully. If I was in that situation and I was the other person being invited in, I would probably decide to have my own
NDA. You're going to have
my own agreement. I mean, so
while just I'm under the influence, do not bring Tommy, Billy, who else in your team?
Exactly.
They cannot come over here. It's just going to be the three of us. That was smart.
And if she did not do that, then I think you do leave yourself open.
And please understand, we are not encouraging rape by any means. Not anybody being taking sexually assaulted. We're not taking any sides. We're just trying to have a healthy discussion between men and women on He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com about this topic. So I'm with you. So when you agree, well, so in this one group that I'm in, a woman posted that she should have made the choice not to even go over there once they said you're gonna have to pop some pills.
Mhm.
That she made a choice, and maybe, and now she's mad about it, but she made a choice.
And I definitely agree with that. And that's been my stance on a lot of these different issues that we've seen in television media over the last couple years, dealing with this particular topic of women being sexually violated or abused in some kind of way. And when they are of age, I do,
To make conscious decisions.
yes, I do question whether or not they're thinking in their right minds, about the long term.
And I will say, and I'm trying to get to your comments. John, you may have commented. I'm trying to get to it now and get to the live. I told y'all how me and I'm gonna get a name for her. Part of me want to call her Becky, but me and Becky gonna work this out because she just doesn't quite always want to work out with me on this.
She's not cooperative.
So, Toussaint said, thank you. I got to some of the comments. You said we keep normalizing immorality and trying to find ways to justify or condemn it. So immorality being that they even
did it.
That they even did it,
yes.
that we're justifying the immorality to that. Let me turn on my sound. So yes, if overall, no, I'm thinking about that as I'm trying to turn down my sound. Jada, what do you think about as I go turn down my sound? Are we somehow justifying it? Is it loud? It's my laptop. Turn it off.
I think we are. I think we are trying to justify it because we live in this society. Okay. We live in this society where we don't want to judge everyone. We don't want to make it seem as though we are throwing stones in our glass houses. But as Toussaint stated, I guess there's a possible spiritual immorality to this thing, maybe a societal immorality to it. I mean, but I think again, that's to each his own. Like we can't judge what they're doing. I mean, we can speak on the situation itself because it's public information at this point.
Right. It's
but
information to judge.
But I don't think we can
keep going.
I don't think we can really I don't think we really sit in a position where, we can say someone is wrong or right about what they choose to do with their lives.
So he says, but just think about how normal all this is today. Like how we talk about them just having a girl over and having some pills. And like,
yeah, right.
And like making her do drugs
and signing a, NDA.
Signing an agreement and come on and get these drugs. We're a parent of 5 kids.
Yeah.
We're grandparents.
Yeah.
We are grandparent role models. And now all our little business is all out in the streets for our little grandparents. Little Dejanay, I don't know their daughter's name. I keep forgetting it. But now the little grandchild has access to see that their grandparents have menage a trois with in pills.
So then we're talking about now just the moral fiber of the celebrity, his or herself. That there's a possibility that your life choices can become public. Now, and so I believe that that's something that they get themselves involved in as well, because you are now making yourself very open.
And I think
to the public's criticism.
You make
views.
yourself public, but I would try. I don't want to judge what is moral and immoral to consensual. That's their relationship.
It is.
I don't have to be in it. I don't have to. And if that is something they choose to do, who am I to say it's immoral? If that's I don't think they have to live to my definition.
Because I'm pretty sure there's something that you do
that people would be like, Oh no, you going to
Uh-huh.
you going to they praying and throwing holy water on me.
Exactly.
You evil.
Right.
You devil.
I mean,
So I don't want to
none
judge
of us
that.
are perfect.
None of us are perfect. And I do think that now, if they're not living up to their own moral code, then now I'm going to call you
Right.
hypocritical. And I don't know what your moral code is. But it is somewhat normal. Or does moral need to change? I don't know. To me, does
I feel like, I mean, we have those of us that read the Bible, believe in the Bible, and follow that. We feel like the path has been set. Like this is the path that we follow. Will you fall off that path? Absolutely, you will. So, and that's again, that's a personal individual decision that's made because just because I believe in it does not mean the next person does or has to.
I agree with that. So
Our
Kiana,
moral paths are created by us.
our moral paths are created by us. I like that. So Kiana, one dope chick says morality and normal are subjective. You can't impose your morals on other people.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Hey John, so two said they pay for threesomes and it's difficult to think someone who sells sex won't sell lies.
Wow. Very
Yeah.
true.
Your moral
Very
I was
true.
about to say your moral compass is off, but
But
I
what
don't want
is
to
it?
say that, but
Does she have one?
that it could be skewed a bit because you are I don't
Okay, so I think we go into the idea of everyone's morals being good, and that may not necessarily be the case.
because she may be of the thought process that a lot of people feel.
I'm out here to get mine. I'm gonna
I'm
do what
out
I
here to
gotta
get
do.
mine. I got a kids to take care of.
Yeah.
I looked at a post we had, and she said on Facebook, join the group. It said, if a man got what needed to have sex with a rich woman to pay for to put food on the table, is that okay? And everybody was like, yes, do what you got to do. Take care of your family. So that moral compass is, I mean, if he feels he's taking care of his family. And so yes, if you sell sex, you may sell lies. In fact,
Absolutely.
anybody who does anything may sell lies because when you're dealing with rich people. Because
Yes.
when you're dealing with people that are wealthy, that you now have created something to hold over their heads. Like now I could have full intention of going in knowing I'm going to dangle this carrot and blackmail you with it. And when you have money, whether you're a rich basketball player or when you have something to lose that major, or
sometimes it doesn't even have to be money, and we don't necessarily have to be at some type of celebrity status. People will come after you if they see something you have that they want.
Yep. And that
so do you and I stand the possibility of being lied on? Absolutely.
Yes, just to get my $2 or just
to ruin my character.
Just to ruin
because
my character.
You don't appreciate what I put out there.
That's another point. So two says contracts can always be broken. So yeah, those NDAs they sign, and that they know they plan on breaking those, because what you gonna do once I put it out there and put the doubt of your character out there in the public, they gonna run with
beyond the shadow of a doubt.
You're guilty until proven innocent. You never get proven innocent when things like this come out. There are people who believe what they believe. I don't care what you,
and it stays with you.
It stays with you. So yeah, that your character will always be. People like T, I don't think they care. Two says people make the rules of a society, and what we're saying is to hell with rules. That's crazy. Imagine children running your house.
I understand that, and in some cases that's happening.
That's happening because they don't have any rules. I do think each household is creating rules.
So what about that saying, rules are made to be broken? Do you believe that?
And what rule do I believe rules are made to be broken? Yes, some of them, because I don't come to a complete stop. Some rules I think are stupid.
Exactly. right? Because we're not always sitting at the table establishing what the rules are. As a classroom teacher, it was determined years ago that if you want your classroom rules to work, you should have the students help create the classroom rules.
So your second graders, what grade do you teach?
Second
Third?
grade.
Your second graders are supposed to help create the rules of the class. I guess that
Yes.
could work to some degree.
To some degree.
But this is a mind of an 8-year-old creating rules for themselves.
And so when you
don't need
have
parents.
people of different moral fibers trying to create the rules,
We
it's
have
not,
Trump.
they're not going to, oh God,
We didn't
the
create
rules
Donald
are not
Trump.
going to apply to everyone.
Good point. Good point. So Penny says, hey, Penny. Penny was a part of our Women's Empowerment Conference we had on Friday. It was a fabulous event, 6 hours of women. It was really, really fun. So Penny, you said something's going on with right or wrong for some couples to want to have a non-disclosure agreement. I think they did want this to get out, though. I think they just didn't want you to know that they're having threesomes in their relationship.
That just comes along with, I believe, their celebrity status and their fame. But it didn't work. I mean,
right? It's out there.
It's
so
here.
Obviously,
like
rules break because
we're talking about it. So I think you go even further into why, right? Like,
and John says here, why are we so afraid to judge others when every day our lives we're judging everything in ourselves because we have a discerning mind? So the why. So were you saying why are the couple doing it, or where were you going
so
with
that's
your why?
my why is as someone that's been married for 20 years, we've never done that, right? Like that's never been an option. Because
when we say option, not that the option isn't there, this isn't our option,
right?
This isn't not an option that
so
you made
what
for
is
your
it?
Relationship.
I believe that because T.I. and Tiny have both been, I guess, known to
go out outside.
So this may have been a
monogamy.
decision that they said, hey, we both maybe get what we want, and we're not jeopardizing our relationship at the same time
because we're both in agreement on who we're inviting into our relationship.
Right. So you and your spouse can be in an agreement with that, but that other person, that's a wild card.
And that's the thing you're throwing into your relationship.
Yeah, so
that they don't love either one of you. Probably they're just in it for whatever.
And if they do, that's still a problem.
And if they are,
then we got a bigger problem.
Well, you're right. They're not supposed to love either one. I don't know if they're supposed to or not. I'm not sure how that works.
Right.
But it does seem like if you have a third person loving either one of you, then that could be where another problem arises.
Yeah.
So, like John
said, just all seems problematic.
So, why his why question was, why are we afraid to judge them? I say why. And I won't say I'm afraid to judge them. I'm saying I absolutely don't want to.
I mean, if you are a believer of the Bible tells us not to judge, right? So it's not our place to
I'm not there
be their judge and executioner, right? Like we don't set the rules, so we can't set the consequences.
And I do believe that
did they break any laws? If this woman is not telling the truth, they did not do anything wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Lawfully wrong. So
correct.
If she is not telling the truth, right?
If she is not telling the truth, which we don't know what actually happened,
right?
If she in full agreement said I would come in over there and partake in this exercise with you guys and take whatever and was in full agreement, then it was all in agreement. Period. So Cheryl says common sense is not a common practice. Cheryl says Strunk is part of the Intellectual Radio family as well. She has a show Fridays at 7 p.m. popping off We pop off with Cheryl. She is fun. She's been doing her Black history. If you need some tips, or not tips, but some things, Black history facts that you just didn't know, then she's doing the research. She's having a good time popping off with Black
Okay,
history.
I'm gonna have to
Besides
listen.
her, the I said I'm gonna stop saying somebody said who watched my show on YouTube, she put in the comments, you say too much.
Oh, did she now?
No. I said thank you for the feedback. So I am gonna try to work on that. So as
Okay.
I just said it, I'm going to think of you. I don't remember your name, but I'm gonna think of you right now, girl. And I'm gonna try to stop saying it. Oh, and then the guy that said I moved too much. Oh,
Oh,
that's so hard. I'm gonna try to do that too. I'm
so
gonna try.
you have to. You gotta
They on me. They like you do this.
Yes.
I forgot what
But they
somebody else said
watching.
the
They
other day. But they
watching.
watching, and that's what I appreciate. I love the feedback. I don't know if I'm gonna do it all,
That's
but
the
I'm
good thing. They
definitely-
are watching.
Well, I will say not sing no in the whole IntellectualRadio.com family. I mean, we have signs here
And I
that
learned
say
that the hard way.
don't say so I know I just did it. So Penny says moral is subjective, and I do think unless you're going strictly by that Bible thing. So, I didn't mean it like
Y'all know
y'all know how I
that
meant
dude Jesus. Y'all know.
y'all know that dude Jesus that got that big old book that you read.
He just died on the cross. I mean,
Just to save save our sins. He wanted to save all of our sins, to save our sins. Him, that's what
That
I'm talking
dude.
about. That dude. He my dude too. I'm not talking about him like that. He know that though. He know my heart. He know my heart. So anyway, we just having a conversation, Jesus.
just doing a radio show.
We're just doing a radio show. So two says, I don't follow Christianity. Our moral paths are not individually created. They are created by social norms.
I disagree. I mean, I think, but I see, this is what I'm saying. If you decide to create your moral path according to social norms, then that's on you. Everybody will not do that.
Everybody is not followed. There are people.
That's why I feel like we create our moral paths. We decide if we're going to follow the Bible. We decide if we're going to follow society. We decide what political party we're going to follow. We decide who we are going to follow.
But I don't agree that we may be to some degree following some sort, but social norms are all over the place. There is no one social norm.
Exactly.
Like you mentioned with your class, the norm for one of the child's households may be so different when you're trying to create rules. In their household, they're allowed to do this. In your household, you're not. And so if I'm trying to follow the rules of what's normal for me, it could totally be not normal for you. So thank you, everybody who shared the show. I so appreciate you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Melvin, Penny, Robert. Thank you to all you guys. I so appreciate it. I really, really, really do. So, me and laptop. What name did I say? You, Becky. Becky, you messing up.
Well, we might
so
have to name
Stephen
something else.
Stephen said, "No, I'll keep my traditional values. It has always kept me sane and grounded through these years. This new foolishness always results in complications." Well, I do think adding something foreign, if you have an agreement between you two and you add somebody who's made no agreement into the mix, there could be some complications.
And there is nothing new under the sun. Now, right? I mean,
they didn't create this situation. So that is not their creation.
Yeah.
Cheryl says, ladies, no man should be able to define you. And if you have food in your home to feed your children, that's your responsibility. Absolutely true.
Absolutely.
So what happened? That happens because that happens because our society values wealth, transactions. If I'm winning, now it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. That's why I mentioned earlier, is this woman an opportunist? Now, if they've had some type of relationship with her and they've done this for months or years with this young lady, and all of a sudden that she would make these accusations? Or is it that we've had this agreement, T.I. Tiny, this is what we said we would do, and y'all went off the path?
So Cheryl says that rules are made to keep order, and you can't decide which rules you're going to follow.
We do it all the time, though.
Yes, we do.
Rules are established to make order. I
I
totally
agree.
agree with that. That is an absolute true statement. Will you have people that break the rules? Yes.
Every single day you do. I mean, in big or small, it's just we. I notice people get more upset over the rules that matter to them more than the little
And I
things that
think
they
it's
think don't matter.
because, like, I always kind of make the reference to my classroom because those are my people, right? My little 7 to 8 year old people. And what I notice in students that do break the rules, you even have to break those students up into categories. Are they breaking the rules? There are some that are breaking the rules because they just have never had that type of structure in their lives. They don't quite understand rules, and they don't quite understand consequences. So you have that group, and then you have the other ones that just want to test to see how far they can go until they take it too far and they're like, oh, okay, now stop. And I think we as adults move like that too.
We don't stop moving in that manner.
We have a lot of adults that say, hey, I've gotten away with this for this many times. Let me just keep trying to
Just to
see how
see
many
what
more
happens,
times.
see your reaction.
Yeah, right. I can get away with this.
So I am having difficulties finding. We're going to move along. I think we on the TI we won't know what is right or wrong. We're just gonna have to follow what happens between TI Tiny and this woman, and if I don't know if I think just like anything else, people will form their opinion
Mm-hmm.
one way or the other, and they will not sway no matter what
Yeah.
they hear. I think that's just such a common thing. Since I have you here, educator, and we're talking hot topics, and we're only
Uh-huh.
going to touch on this briefly. Ooh, the coronavirus and homeschooling, and
Ah!
or not homeschooling, is what is it? What is
Remote learning.
remote
Remote
learning?
or virtual. We've
Remote
heard all terms.
virtual learning.
E-learning, yeah.
So I know you're not in the Chicago public school
Right.
systems, but you guys, are you all even discussing going back into the classroom like Chicago or no?
There are discussions. I believe, for any school district that has not returned to in-person instruction, there's definitely the discussion going on right now about it. I watch the drama between, CTU and CPS every day on the news like everyone else. I definitely have friends that are a part of CTU. So I get a inside track sometimes in talking to them. But my district, we are discussing it, but the big part and what I want everybody out there to understand, and what many of you may already get, is that it's the parents that are in control of this.
Even the CTU?
Not maybe not so much with CTU, maybe they're just not bringing up that aspect as much. But the whole point is, I think what CPS and CTU, I think the issue is, and I don't want anybody to think that I don't know anyone. I don't have
No
any
inside scoop.
affiliation.
She is an educator, but no inside scoop. She's
No
not
affiliation with
telling us.
either. This is my personal opinion. I think they're downplaying the role of the parents, and they're upplaying teachers, right?
As
So
being the villains.
yes. And so we are in a situation where, in a lot of places, teachers are being blamed for some reason, making it seem as though they don't want to go into work, or they don't want to be around children, or, I mean, whatever the case may be. And from what I know and the educators that I know, that's not the case. Right? We want to be in schools because that's what we've been doing for years. That's what we've known. Our job has always been to go into the school, in our classroom, and educate our students. That has never been an issue. So it's not so much the issue now, other than maybe in CPS. I think, cleanliness may be an issue, maybe a bigger issue than in other places. But it's not the issue of us not wanting to go into our classrooms and teach our students. You know, are we going into healthy environments? Are we going into safe environments? Is definitely a key point. And the other one is we can all go in, but if there are no students there, what are we doing? Right.
So
So
if the parents keep their children home and they force you all to go, then what is the point of
yeah,
forcing you to go? If when you say the parents have more involvement than what they're saying, there are more parents who actually don't want. Are you? I'm not saying. Are you saying? I'm asking. Is that kind of what is going on?
from what I'm hearing, I think I think we do have to take into consideration, and many of you out there are parents, so you already know how you personally feel about your child going back to in-person learning. So we have to take into consideration what the parents are saying.
So you think maybe some of the majority of this is actually parents who don't want to send their children back, and they are. So how do their voices get heard with the CTU when we're saying that they may be part of it in these discussions? Is there somebody who's there for the
From
parents?
what I know, a lot of Chicago public schools have LSCs, and that stands for local school council. So I'm not sure right now, and that's it's so weird that I haven't heard it. I haven't heard the term. I haven't heard anything about the LSCs,
LSC has not been mentioned.
and I know that they have to be a part of it because that's how a lot of the schools are ran. Because it's CPS doesn't have a school district or a school board. They have, you know, these local school councils that help administrators make their building decisions. So, and it's weird that we haven't heard much about what's going on. So I think that that's a major part that maybe television media isn't giving us,
That's interesting that they, I guess,
because
sway
then it
things.
would sway the opinion of the public, and it would take some of that attention off of
The teach
CTU.
CTU. Interesting. What do you think about them striking? Just your opinion, or we know you don't have any say so in none
I
of
have
this.
absolutely no say so, and I have not spoken necessarily to any of my.
We're gonna throw those disclaimers out there so
Right,
y'all
we
can.
definitely will. And to all of my fellow colleagues in education, I'm not speaking for you. Definitely know that I'm with you, though. I am the vice president of my teacher union, Maywood Education Association. So, um, would I be for a strike if it meant something better for my students and my union members? Absolutely. And I mean, I'm not on the inside of CTU, so but I can only hope and pray that, you know, what they are fighting for is for the betterment of the student body and the union membership.
I hope so. I do have a child that is part of the CPS system, but he's a high schooler, and they're not talking about bringing the high schoolers back at all. And then my son's father, my ex husband, is also a teacher in the public school system as well, and they're not. He's a high school teacher, so he's also not even. It's not in discussion. So I haven't had to necessarily get involved in this. Now if they all strike, now that would, I guess, affect me, because now my son's teachers would strike along with the strike. So I'm not for the strike, and I'm not for striking. Let's work this out. I don't know, just keep them all at home. Let's call this year a wrap. I mean, I
So
want our kids to
as a
learn.
mother, what is your personal feeling on your son returning? Would you want him back in school, or would you prefer he stay virtual learning?
Oh, I go back and forth, and I'm just gonna be honest. There are some days I'm like, these children are hurting. He's not doing as well as a student at home.
Mhm.
Just period. I don't know how much we sit him there and we're watching him, and as he's in some class and strumming on the guitar, and I'm like, "What class are you in? You're not a guitar. Why do you have your guitar out?"
He doesn't have a guitar class.
He does, but it's like first thing in the morning, but it could be 1 in the afternoon. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Pay attention. I mean, and someone told me that what they're doing at home is the same thing they do at school. I don't know if you feel the same way, but they said, don't think you're just witnessing what we go through.
I mean, you know what I will say as a teacher, We are not dealing with the same type of discipline, right? It's and I feel like even when we go back to in-person learning, no fights, right? Social distance yourself and get your mind right. But we're definitely not dealing with the same type of discipline issues. You have your what I call Zoom issues. And so it's, get your baby sister off the screen, mute yourself. I can
While
hear
your
grandma.
mama walk
Yeah,
past.
I can hear grandma in the background. Could you please mute? So we have those types of things that we're dealing with now. But overall, I feel like I have a great group. I have 21 second graders right now. And on a great day, they all log in. And I just really feel like they all are learning. On my worst day, I'm just like, I'm about to throw this computer out the window.
I can only imagine. I see though some, I guess, where I feel a little jealous sometimes is out here in the South, in the western suburbs. I've seen some schools that are going to
Yes.
school,
Mhm.
and I go, how are they making this work?
Mhm.
And that part, I sometimes think I would want my child in school. I see other.
I think the conversations that I've been having, and my oldest son,
Oh, he's an educator as well,
yeah,
right?
so he did graduate college. He was the class of 2020 from Carthage College, and he is now working in my school district as well. And so, a conversation that we were having just yesterday, it's not about whether or not we can go back. I feel like we can go back. I think what's happening is that parents aren't convinced of the procedures and protocols for what is going to happen when there are cases of coronavirus, because there will be cases. It's not that you can't catch it from kids. We're hearing all sorts of things. We're hearing people say all sorts of things. People that are not medical professionals are trying to make make up these statements. But it's not that we won't have cases, but it's a matter of, okay, what's the procedure for when we do? So if there's a student in my class who tests positive for the virus, what happens to my class? Do we, quarantine for 14
Right,
days?
because
Do
you've
you
all
shut
been
the whole school
exposed
down?
to that
So
child.
these are the questions that teachers and parents are having.
And I don't always think that out the right to that. I look at my little bubble of my child and don't think of that kind of situation. So when you bring that up, that makes sense. So yeah, that's bigger issues that they need to work out. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. Whew, I don't know. This coronavirus, I know I'm tired of
Yes.
it. I know that's the truth. So
Way past tired.
way past tired, but I guess this is our new normal, wearing masks and having our little dividers.
Yeah.
Through
Like,
plexiglass.
I'm visiting you in prison.
How's the kids, Jada? You taking care
Hold
of
the
them?
baby up to the class.
I love you. Mommy love you. So today's topic, you guys, you are tuned in to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. I am so excited to have with me my dear friend Jada Tennille James. We went through all her commas: educator, author, mom, wife, speaker, host of or founder, creator of a group of 50,000, almost 50,000 phenomenal women on Facebook. I mean, that's a lot of people to manage. My little group today was just going all wild with, so I can even, but women, I think y'all maybe.
We do pretty good.
I never see the little fights like we have.
We do pretty, and it's probably because it has happened.
Has it?
It has, just never on a high scale. And let me tell you something: my group administrators are the best police, internet, social media police you could ever imagine. So if the second something pops off, they pretty much are on it. And they're like messaging me saying, "Hey, I just shut this down. I deleted this. I did this." And I'm like, "Great." So
you like, thank you.
Yes. So when it does go down, it's taken care of fairly quickly.
I love it. I can't say that actually happens here, but we're trying to get to that point. I can't say it happens. So I'm trying to find, as I go through my dear He Said, She Said, this topic that had over 400. Oh, I just thought of a way I could get to it quicker. Over 400 comments. So it was like one.
We got to talk about that.
It it was just going on for days and days, and I'm surprised it's still not at the top of this group that I thought I'd find it easily. But it just goes to show how much they can all be hot and heavy over something and then go on and make the next thing hot and heavy. Guess Tiny made it go to the next thing. So I
usually see the hot and heavies though. I don't know if I saw it.
Okay, so I'm going to have to improvise what this one said. So it was a couple that were getting engaged. So when they were getting engaged, he went to his girlfriend and said, I'm thinking of proposing. And she said, well, when you propose, do not propose on Christmas. She listed a bunch of like holidays and said, if you propose on any of those days, I will be saying no. Just so you know,
okay.
I don't want to share this engagement. I do not want it on any of these days. Don't do it because I'll say no.
Okay.
He goes on to get a ring and propose on one of these holidays. She says no. I'm not. And the who's right and who's wrong in this instance.
Okay.
So
that is so very interesting. So my first question would be, do we know why she did not want this done, or did that just seem like too cheesy for her?
So I believe, and that's why I was trying to get to it. And if anybody who is watching who can get through this, and let me go through some of the topics before I move on to that one. What some of you guys said on the children. Two said most children's immune system will endure, but what happens when they bring it home? I just recently got over COVID, so miss me with the safe combo. Hey, I ain't messing with you bringing this back home to me. I don't know if he can get it twice. He don't know if he can get it twice. But that is another great point. Is that I know I recently was being around my father who had a compromised immune system, and I didn't want to. I kept myself in somewhat of a bubble because I had to be exposed to him daily. And if I'm exposed to him, I don't want him to be sick and I can't go see him in the hospital. So yes, now I've sent my child to school exposed to all of this, walking, coming home. I mean, not just in the school, but the transportation to, from, and then you come back into the home. What keeps your family safe? Great point, Tucson. One I hadn't even thought of.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't want you bringing your little Jeremy butt into this to this house.
Yeah.
I mean, exposed.
And it was, I mean, it was that we could honestly think that way prior to COVID, right? Just like, what did you make your kids do before? Like, I know when my kids would come in from football, it's like, leave them cleats outside, or, do this, go straight to the basement and put your clothes in the washer, that type of thing. And that was prior to a pandemic.
Wash your hands or leave
right. Don't you didn't even wash your hands. Go in there, do that. And so now when you have a deadly virus, like, I mean, the things that we thought we were careful about in the past, you have to be triple, times that now.
I totally agree. And and they don't have all that figured out. They know they don't.
Nope. They don't.
They know they do not have that figured out. So I found it. I'm going to read this.
Okay.
I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years. We've been talking marriage for about the last 5 months. I told my boyfriend, no matter what, do not propose to me on Christmas, New Year, or Valentine's Day. It's so expected and not epic at all. I also told him that if he did, I would say no. And I didn't care who was around. But what did he do on Christmas Day in front of his family? Yup, he proposed and I said no. The ring was beautiful, but I wasn't kidding when I told him that I would say no. And if he proposed to me on a holiday, now he's mad at me and his family thinks I'm a spoiled beat. I guess they all hate me now. And he said he's not too sure if he'll ask again for fear of embarrassment. Who's right? Who's wrong?
This reminds me of, I don't know who's familiar with the Housewives of Atlanta, but Cynthia was getting married. She was preparing for her marriage to, I want to say his name is Mark or something. But she had this special date in her mind, right? I think it was supposed to be 10-10-20.
Okay.
And that was the date. That was the date. And she wanted everybody there. She, she was looking for venues, in the middle of a pandemic. And so the harder it got for them to get this big event across, the more frustrated she became. And so her and her fiance had a really big fight about, look, is it the event or is it me? What do you want more? And so I was thinking, I was like, I kind of felt like she was wrong. Like, you should be willing to marry him anywhere. It doesn't have to be at the big, castle. It doesn't have to be with 250 people there. You should be willing to marry him because you love this man and this is who you're choosing to spend the rest of your life with. So what does all of that matter in the grand scheme of things? So back to this, I'm wondering, why would you say no if you love this man and you want to marry him? What does it matter the day he asks you?
Do you know how many women? I mean, they were like, he is wrong. He told her, and that
because she's told him not to do it and he did it anyway, he was wrong. Is that what they were basically
like why?
saying?
And I do see that point, like why they felt like. And I'm sorry. Let me before I get back deep into it. I'm going to go through.
I was in the group. I was scrolling in the group, and I couldn't.
I couldn't. You know what? I'm going to go pin it to the top.
Yeah.
I was trying to save it and put it in the comments, and it's not letting me because
okay.
Me and Becky just don't always see eye to eye because she know I was trying to do this.
Right.
So I marked it as the announcement, and when you first go out of the group and go back in, and that topic will be there. But. And what I didn't do is share this to the group. So if you're in He Said, She Said, I'm going to share it there now. You can join. I want you to join in this topic because y'all, I see it's 500.
Okay, I see it now.
500 and something comments now.
Yes, 549 comments. Oh my gosh.
And so
this was definitely a hot topic.
So it came up that some women, and I'm going to go through the gamut of I didn't go through what you, let me bring you all your comments up to speed, my virtual co-host. Penny said, safety has got to go first. My dope chick, you guys have to check out. Now you have so many cool names for what you do. Kiana, if you want to know anything about the cannabis industry,
okay,
this dope chick,
okay,
knows she is the most educated woman on that topic that I
gotta start following her.
No, she is as phenomenal as your group, and I think she's in your group. Okay. She's phenomenal on that topic. She is the woman, and she had she is been part of the industry, the part of the committees and everything to make that legal. Just a phenomenal woman.
Okay.
She said, same for my son Wanda. He's not doing as well at home as well. He's doing better with the hybrid learning model so far. Penny said at home it's better for health wise, even if it's not better on the schooling side. And that's I'd rather have my son alive and smart. No, I'm joking. I want them both.
No, you do.
But
I agree.
I'm saying that jokingly, but
but it's the truth.
You can always pick up this grade when things get better. We can go teach them this.
Someone made the suggestion that they just repeat whatever grade level they were in.
I wouldn't mind that as a whole. Just repeat it all and move forward. And he didn't even get what this little freshman year. We were talking about his dad. So I was thinking about moving him. His dad is an educator. I mean, he's a teacher. And he said, I was thinking about moving him into my school and him go to school with me. And I said to my son, what do you think about that? Your dad is saying, he's like, Mommy, I never even been in school one day.
Right. He's never even opened his locker. He doesn't know.
He was like, I don't know, Mom. I've never even been there. I thought about it. His freshman year, he's never stepped foot in the school. He was like, I don't know if I don't want to go there. I've never been there.
Which is so very true. And I think one of the driving forces behind me saying that I did want my children to go back to school, because right now for the school districts that are not in session, they are sending out all these surveys, right? Parents, we need to know. We need to know. Now,
that is what our LSC has done. That's the only thing I've seen from my LSC is choose the box with how would you want it to be. They're in school and outside, in school and here, and in school and here. Go every other day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Go to so yeah, that's how I've seen the involvement of my LSC. But
and that's everyone, and so the reason why I just basically agree for my children to go back is because I have an eighth grader and a senior.
you have agreed for your children to go
I
back.
have. So, and it's not so much that, oh, I don't care about their health, and of course I do. My children have been home pretty much a year. We haven't gone anywhere, and so, but because they're in these what we call milestone years,
eighth grade and senior,
right,
huge for both.
And so, I mean, I do want them to not. I want them to have memories other than I spent my eighth grade year sitting at home, or I spent my senior year at home.
I'm telling you, for the kids, my son eighth grade last year, that was the most uneventful eighth grade graduation.
I'm telling you,
ever. The drive by, it lasted 2 minutes. He got out, got his diploma, hopped back in the car, and we drove off. It was like,
and my son graduated college. Putting my first child through college
and nothing. And now you're gonna have every milestone. You'll have a high school craziness, and an eighth grade craziness.
Yeah,
college, high school,
through the pandemic.
Boom.
Boom.
So, but yes, let's keep the kids healthy though. That's what's most
absolutely
important. And the teachers too. I'm not keep y'all healthy, and the principals.
Yeah,
all of y'all. Everybody needs to be healthy, and that's what's most important. So Penny says, let's get back to the topic. So I'll read again what happened here. So I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years. We've been talking marriage for the last 5 months. I told my boyfriend, no matter what, do not propose to me on Christmas, New Year, or Valentine's Day. It is so expected and not epic at all. I also told him that if he did, I would say no, and I didn't care who was around. Well, what did he go do? He did it on Christmas Day in front of all his family, and yup, he proposed, and I said no. The ring was beautiful, but I wasn't kidding when I told him that I would say no. If he proposed to me on a holiday, now he's mad at me, and his family thinks I'm a spoiled bee. I guess they all hate me now, and he said he's not too sure if he'll even ask again in fear of I'll embarrass him again. Excuse me. So who's right, who's wrong? So Penny says she's probably also feels like he's not listening to her and honoring her requests and preferences. And two said those women value the ring more than the relationship fellas bounce.
I just don't agree. I don't think that. How do you establish prior to the proposal that when you're going to say no?
And if you loved him that much, even if you thought you'd say no in advance, this is my opinion. I know women got so mad about this. I mean, this was one of those posts that I think got flagged for Facebook. Look, this is just Jada. You're married 20 years. I was first marriage, married 20 years. So we're speaking from another place than the woman who's the young woman who's never been married before. And I do think that mentality, my mentality now was probably different. I may have been more like her. I had more of what you better not do and better not do things than I do now. I'm a little wiser, just a little wiser.
Yeah.
But so I spoke to this from what I know now about that. I feel this is my personal. Now, tell me if y'all feel differently. I have to put those disclaimers because they'll be in my inbox talking about you right next. This. So I just feel like, why would you say no? To me, that is. Why would you, if you really love him, even it's just the engagement. Do you even, you may remember your engagement. You kind of sweet like that. I don't even remember.
It was on New Year's Eve. I want to say it was it was 99.
I thought you remember.
Yeah. It was December 99 on New Year's Eve, but I promise you did
you know it was going to happen?
I did not know. And there was nobody in the room but me and him.
And I thought the engagement, guys, tell me if I'm wrong, if you're a virtual co-host right now, I thought the engagement, you didn't have to even know. Like, he could surprise you and propose to you. It wasn't a thing that you needed to even know about.
I think that was a red flag for him.
For me, it would be. If you say
That's a
no
red
in
flag
front,
for
I'm
him.
not gonna be always doing. How come when I think why some men don't like the idea of even getting married is they just don't have a say so. What if he wanted Christmas? I
Yeah.
mean, where does what
And
he
it,
want come
I
in
don't
there?
I don't think I don't think a lot of women take into consideration what rejection means to a man. Like,
In
who
front of
wants
my
to be
family,
rejected?
who wants to be rejected? Who wants to? I don't care if you said no. In that moment, would you want to embarrass your man in front of his family and you don't care who sees it? That's
Again, I'm reminded of reality television of, of a young lady who the guy went all out. It was huge. She said yes, whatever. But then what? Weeks later, she just hands him the ring back. She was like, "Look, I just didn't want to embarrass you in front of your people, but I don't want to, I don't want to do this." So, I mean, he ended up getting rejected anyway.
But I still feel like that's a different kind of humiliation that you ask her to marry you and you say, if that was my son, I'd be like, boo, get your ring back. Don't ask her again.
Definitely don't ask her again, because I just feel like it should not have mattered. I get what she's saying.
And she
I
wants
do
this
understand,
epic engagement, but we got to
but
get
I
rid of
do
the fairy
understand what
tales
she's saying,
sometimes.
and as far as it may be overdone, right? Like, I don't want to fall into that category of, oh, it's Christmas, let's see how many engagement rings we see on Facebook, right?
I get that.
I get that, but at the same time, who cares?
She does. And that's what most people would say.
And right, and I don't feel like she should care.
And that's
I
where a
just
lot of
don't. I don't
women
think
went
it's
with that.
that important. I think what's more important is that you have a man who loves you, and
Once,
like you said, your point was very valid in that maybe that's what he wanted.
why doesn't what he want even come to play? If you do this, I'll say no. I mean, why can't you even say, I mean, why
Baby,
is
do
it
it
so
however you
extreme?
want to do it. I'll be there for the whole thing, and I got you.
I got right. Why, if you're not even a team now, what is this going to turn into? That
Exactly.
he always has to do what you say is your way or the highway? Is
Yeah.
that what their marriage will be
That
like?
was his red flag.
I think, but I'm telling you, not a lot of women went with that one. So, Kia, I want to call you dope chick, Kiana.
Talking
Absolutely true. Better alive than smart. Oh, okay, that's Grace. I'm going.
about the
I
kids.
rolled up too far. Why did he do it on a day when she asked him not to? See, now that's what a lot of people did say, which I do
I
feel
think it
like she
goes, but
said
I
she'd
think
say
it
no,
goes back to your point in that what if that was the day he wanted,
but she did. Why ask her? Because then I thought I see both points. Why even ask her if you was gonna do Christmas anyway?
right? But wait, does it say that he
So
asked her?
or how did he find out? She said if you do it on this day, they've
We've
had
been.
some discussion. So you said to me that speaks
She
to what could
told
be a
him. She
deeper
just.
issue of him disregarding. And this is how many women felt like Kiana says. Why did he do it on a day when she asked him not to? To me, that speaks to what could be a deeper issue. I think they both got deeper issues, though.
Yeah,
A deeper issue of him disregarding her feelings, desires, and opinions.
I agree with that.
I feel that
But
both
at
were
the same
wrong.
time, yeah, they were definitely both wrong. But it's just, I told my boyfriend, no matter what, do not. Like, why? I mean, why are you laying down the law so heavy on the proposal?
Get the wedding you want. Where is the compromise? And some people
Yeah,
would
let
feel
him
like that.
have his proposal, because honestly, I feel like that's for him.
I thought proposals were for the guys. Is that wrong? Am I like
Yeah, let
getting
us
some
know,
old
because I think
school
that
thing?
that's for the guy, because he has to build up the nerve to do that. He has to go out and get that ring. He has to plan this event out so that it goes in his favor.
But if I was his mama and he said, "Ma, I want to propose," and she told me she may say no, I'm like, then don't do it on
I,
Christmas, boy. Do what the woman
you like,
said.
just don't do it
Do
on
it.
that day.
So I do think his team, his squad, if he talked to anybody beforehand, like gave him some misinformation, they should have been like, dude, she
I
sound
mean,
like
I
she ain't
agree.
playing on the but
But I
fast.
just feel like she should not have laid that law down.
I
Again, that
agree.
goes back to the
If
earlier
I was on her
conversation.
team, if I was with
She set
her,
up
I'd
all
be like,
these
let him
rules.
have this. Let him have the proposal.
She set up all these rules, and what he did, he went and broke it anyway.
And he broke it anyway, which is a red flag for both of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they don't get married. So, Crystal, you said she is too immature and not ready for marriage. She did not have a huge favor by. She did him a huge favor by saying no. Yeah, this is a red flag for him. I would have took my ring,
Yeah.
especially that you don't have any remorse of getting your way and embarrassing me. Because even if you did say you do it, that in that moment you were gonna show me that you were
Yeah.
in front of my family.
And I just feel like that is something, even if they did, God forbid, choose to get married anyway, that is something that she never lives down. That's something that mother-in-law takes to her grave with her. Like,
mother-in-law never gonna sister.
never.
You do that to my brother, and yes,
No, his people will never forgive her for that.
So Kiana says that feels a little rebellious and defiant, but she's rebellious and defiant as well. Because
Yeah.
why not build? Why does she get to have the law? Why is it? I do know we always say happy wife, happy life, but what does the guy ever get a say so in?
He's
like, things like
supposed
this?
to.
I think on the proposal
not-
he's supposed to.
Yes, I feel like that is his event. Let him have that.
Nancy Fernandez says, I think they both should think about life. Life is too short nowadays. If you love each other, and you would have said yes. I wish I had someone to say yes to. Well, that's if I loved him. And now I'm starting to think, do you really love him? Or do like Tucson said earlier, is it just for the ring? And I do think some women, not you. I'm not talking about you. Whoever's out there.
Not you.
Not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about this girl on this post. I do think that some women care more about the how it looks.
Oh yeah.
That I want to show off my ring, and I want to say he did this great proposal, and I want to say you gave me this great Christmas gift, and not say that my ring was the Christmas gift. And we get attached to fantasies instead of having a healthy, a strong relationship. And these fairy tales and fantasies of what we think these days should look like.
Why? And my thing is, why is she so obsessed with the knot? Right? Like, apparently she has some type of coldness towards what she's seen on social media. She's seen these proposals. She's seen these posts. She's seen these things happen. And why isn't that sweet to you? Why isn't that loving or, nice to you? Why are you so dead set against it?
That you say no to him and then expect him to come back and propose again
on a different day?
No, you're not getting this one, boo. And I know that may sound like, no. And it's not because he just shouldn't do it because she did this to him. It really isn't a healthy start to a relationship.
It's not.
And you all can't come together and have a healthy discussion. Why did he do it anyway once she said no? And why would you say no if you really loved him in that moment? It's like, I think about the day I got proposed to. And in that moment, I was just over the moon that,
because I could have
said, thinking this not the right day.
I could have been that chick and been like, well, why are you asking me right now? Ain't nobody in the room with us. Nobody's here. It's just me and you. I mean, if I wanted that show, then I would have wanted him to do it in front of others. But he had to, like I said, he had to work those nerves up. He had to go and ask my mom permission to even do it. He had to go and do all of that. So that had nothing to do with me.
Penny, and I do think we should I know the words we choose sometimes. I know the power of those words. So I don't want to not necessarily saying let. I want to say, I guess, for a relationship, there has to be I know the word compromise is not always a good word to use, but there has to be some give and take.
Absolutely.
So you have the proposal you want, then I may have the wedding of my dreams, or if you all can communicate. But if you all can't even communicate on the proposal, where does this relationship go? Penny said both strong-willed. How do they really love each other, care about the other person and what the other person wants? And I think that's the point. One of the points too is that I think if it were him and he goes, she doesn't want it on Christmas Day, let me do it Christmas Eve, or let me do it the day before. Why would you really go against and do it on that day? just caring about what she wants. And I do think some men want to please her. And she says she wants this day, so I want to give her that day. So if you were and why not talk to her and say, well, babe, I kind of like Christmas. Why can't you all
Yeah, because
discuss it?
that's the big thing. I think we definitely have to consider why he would just do it anyway. Right.
Why
So
did you
was
do it
it
anyway?
was it his thing where he's thinking, forget her, she gonna marry me regardless. So, I ain't worried about what she's saying. Like,
And so you
did he
obviously
just
don't even know her well enough
right?
to know that when she
So
said
did he
no, she
just
meant
have this
no.
nonchalant attitude, thinking no matter what day it was, she was gonna say yes anyway? Did he just not believe her? Was she playing around? Like, what was his motive for doing it, even though she had already told him?
I wonder if he thought like she wouldn't actually say no. And it
Right.
is easier to do it.
And
It
he
is a planned
probably
day.
felt like it don't matter when I ask her, she gonna say yeah. Maybe he was just that confident,
That she was going to do it anyway because she just be that
and
happy
maybe
to marry
she's
him.
just that stubborn that she just
And I
said
know
no.
people here feel he's just as stubborn because if
Right,
he
because he
said
asked.
no. And then I do believe if he was going to do it anyway. Now I got pushed over the coals over saying that I'm taking, and I don't mentally. I had to go sit. Are you taking both sides? So I really do feel like they both just aren't prepared for different reasons. Like
Yeah.
if this were my daughter and she even told me ahead of time that he was thinking of proposing, I told him not on Christmas. I would have like, baby, that's not that serious. I mean, that
Right.
day, if you love him, I would have encouraged her to not put all this emphasis on
Right.
the day of it. Put the emphasis on the love and that you're building a family, and take that next step from this superficial thing that you
And like you
want, because
said,
it's
his
gonna mean
camp
that much.
could have told
His
him, well,
camp
man,
should
if
have
she
been
don't
like,
want it on
baby,
that day, don't do it on
don't
that
do it on
day.
that day.
So
And
yeah.
if you're gonna do it anyway, you better be prepared that if she say no, what you gonna do then, man? I
Yeah.
mean, I
And
would
I
have
wouldn't
said that.
waste the time, because it's such an event for the guy. I wouldn't waste the time and energy to do it on a day that she'd already told me she gonna say no. Even if I think she playing, like,
But if she does, be prepared to walk away from it, because I still would be kind of upset that you still said no.
yeah.
Because I do feel like that day should have. It could have been like, this isn't what I
Yeah, because she could
wanted.
have been like, boy, I told you. But give me my ring.
Give me my
Yes,
ring.
we
I
getting
love you.
married, but I did tell you I didn't want it on this day.
Can't you remember like that day and just how excited and happy you feel in that moment?
Oh
How can you
yeah,
say no if you really love somebody
exactly.
just because it's Christmas Day? I don't know. I just don't get it.
Yeah, that seems very superficial.
But it's not for me to get. Uh, so so John said, wait, let me go up. That two said it could have been a test or easy escape route for him. Either way, I support it. And it could have been like, I'm gonna see if she really gonna say no. Let me see if she really gonna
Okay.
pull this no. Because if she does, then I'm out.
Okay.
I wouldn't waste my money on no ring. That would be a Cuban zirconia test.
Yeah,
She wouldn't be
definitely.
getting no. I
But
would be
I
testing with a fake ring. but
okay.
but I do think he should walk away. I don't care whether she, because
Yeah.
I do think you all don't really have
And
the
even if
skill
they
set.
don't, even if he doesn't walk away, they definitely need to do some premarital counseling or something. Like, that should definitely be a topic of conversation between the two. Like, okay, baby, why would you say no? Well, I told you not to do it on that day. Why does the day even matter?
Right. Why this?
Like, that's her thing. Like, she has to get over being in control, because once you're married, you're not. No
I
one is in control. You're a team,
and that's
and
the
you run it
thing.
together. Run the empire together.
And if that's your goal to be together, then there's no way it should be have it my way or it's a no and it's I'm gonna force it on you,
Right.
or I'm gonna force it on you anyway, even though you said no. It's
Right.
just a horrible way to start a union. It's a
Yeah.
horrible way to start what should be a beautiful day for you both. So go into some of the comments here. Penny says it sounds like they both aren't ready. Kiana says yes, she can decide to say no. Yeah, she could decide to say no. He could decide not to ask her again. I don't want to ask when, how, or why. And I do think if he wasn't going to honor it anyway, I'm not sure why he even asked. Maybe he thought he wasn't prepared that she
Yeah,
what she
yeah.
say, so he just thought he
I
was.
think it was I'm gonna call her bluff, and he ended up getting embarrassed.
So Kiana says she literally asked him not to do it on on 4 or 5 specific days. She was like, "There's 360 days in a whole year. You couldn't think of just doing it. If she said Christmas, do it Christmas Eve, and or whatever day. There's
Right.
so many other days he could do it on and be safe. He wouldn't have had to have this reaction or response if he just would have did
I'm
it
going back.
January 5th."
You said so. You said it was Tucson who brought up the fact that it was probably a
The
test.
test. Do you think now it
I'm
kind of
going
sounds
back
like
to
a
that.
test?
I'm going back to that. Like, you know, uh, is this how my life is gonna be with her? Is she just gonna demand things of me, and I have to bend?
And if so, no, I'm gonna do it on Christmas because that's the day I want. Was he really just trying to show her that no,
Like, no,
I'm
I'm
gonna
a
do what I
man, and
wanted
I
to
can
do?
do it on whatever day I want to do it on. And if so, he got his. Hey, you dodged a bullet, bro.
You dodged a bullet, and she dodged a bullet because I don't like that kind of game plan either. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, it's a lot.
that
That's a lot.
I don't like tests. I don't test me because I'm gonna probably fail. I don't do tests. I don't never have been much of a tester.
Right. And it just
I'm
takes so
not
much
gonna
effort to
instead of
go
just
back and
talking.
forth.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not the tester, but I will say I've never been that into how we got engaged, or I didn't care about that day. That wasn't one of my things, so I don't quite understand how she felt in that moment of
And see,
wanting
we
this
didn't
special day.
have the influence of social media,
No,
right?
we
Like,
didn't have
so
everybody putting their.
yeah. So that didn't
You're
mean
right,
anything. And I
right.
totally and I just kind of feel like for her to feel that way, like she has to really be influenced by, what's going on in social media today.
Absolutely. Because if she said it's not epic and it's not,
Right.
what are the words she
And
used? It's
why is it
not,
not? Yeah, she did say epic.
she said it's not going to be epic. So she is somebody that's into or it sounds like she's someone who may be into
Yeah.
the show of
It's
it
so expected and not epic at all.
and not epic. So she does want that grandeur of,
Yeah.
he's
But it looks
supposed
like she's
to.
trying to make a show of it as well.
She is.
Because if you aren't, then it doesn't matter.
It doesn't, if you're more wanting to get married is your ultimate goal,
And you got the brother that wants to marry
and
you.
and for some guys that takes some time to even want to do that. That's not an
Hmm.
easy thing to come to, especially only knowing you 5 months. I think that I didn't even remember reading that short
No,
period
she
of time.
said she's been with him for 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we've been talking marriage for about the last 5 months.
Oh, okay. She's been there 2 years. Then
Hmm.
he probably knows. And after 2 years, I know that she's not the bendable type. I know she if when
You
she
know
say
who
no. So
you're
now I'm like, you
proposing
know who you
to.
dealing with.
Uh-huh.
You know you would. So that's y'all both move on.
They shouldn't be
Or
getting married.
counseling, but I don't.
Yeah.
They don't sound like the type to want. They sound pretty
It'll
strong-willed.
be like a year of counseling.
Two said, if
That'll
he's
be
a man, you are not going to control him in that manner. A woman will lose. I got distracted by a flashlight. A woman will lose trying to demand that she will always win. If she operates in command, it's the difference of asking versus telling. And I would totally be turned off by you saying no. When I first read that, I was like, I really felt like, wow, you would.
I don't want a man that I can just tell what to do all the time. I guess I'm one of those females that like, take charge type of guy, right? So I wouldn't even say that to
I wouldn't even think to
my
say that I
boyfriend.
would say no. I'm not. I that's
No.
not. Well, that wouldn't
I
even
mean,
be in
most
my.
of us are really looking for a guy to plan that out and think that all the way through. And so I wouldn't be that female who's trying to tell him what to do. I want you to figure it out and I want you to do it whenever you want to do it.
Yeah, I think when we talk about operating, as I hear people talk about operating in our feminine energy, that
Oh. What's that?
that operating in that feminine energy, you let that if he's thinking of even proposing that, and he has an idea of how he wants it to be, that he should also have, if it's a day meant for both of us to maybe be able to have
Just let
it
him
both.
plan that out. Let him do that.
If she were, yes, I I understand what people are saying, but as Kiana said, he wants to do it on his own time. That's what a man does. Not, oh, that's what John said. He wants to do it on his own time. That is what a man does, not a controlled, emasculated man.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
And Penny says, "Does anytime a woman makes a request that sounds crazy, is that her having control?"
Yeah, she's trying to be in control of what he's doing when he's doing it.
I guess Penny's asking if I'm, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Penny, if it really is just something she wants. If you ask me,
But that I think that's different from knowing that I want these kind of shoes, but you just go buy me those kind of shoes. Like, dude, I told you I wanted those.
so how
You
is
know,
this
like I
different?
mean, because I just feel like this is something that he
So
should have
proposal
been
should be for the
deciding.
man. The man should
That's
do the
my that's
proposing.
my opinion.
So let me hear from you guys. Should it matter who proposes? Because to me, it's like she basically almost proposing. I mean, she's setting it
Yeah,
up
like
and
why are
arranging.
you controlling that?
Who should she have any say so in the proposal? I think traditionally, the traditionally, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe the woman didn't always know. He went and asked the father,
Hmm.
the parents for their approval to propose, and then you didn't know.
And a lot of times it doesn't have to be a show. It doesn't have to be in front of the entire family. I mean, I've seen it more so like that, in
Social
the past
media.
couple years where the guy may plan an event and invite people out just so that and everybody in the room will know except the girlfriend. I've seen that, but I don't think, I mean, if that's what he wants to do, if that's how he wants to propose in front of everybody and it's an event and we got something going on.
Why didn't he say it in the moment though? I'm still very curious as to when she said, I will say no, that he didn't say, well, I may do it anyway. I mean, right, like right in that
Right, or
moment.
why, babe? What's the big
Why?
deal?
Why? What's the big deal with Christmas? Because that's the day my mother, I don't know. I'm
That's the
making up
day my daddy
situations.
proposed to my mama. So
Or
I want to do it the
that's
same
the day all
way.
our family gonna be in one place, and I want to do it in front of them, and it's too hard to get everybody. I'm making up. I don't like making up
Right.
our own backstory to this,
But I
but
mean,
we're just saying that he obviously that day meant something, or it was the test, like they say. He wants to do it in his own time. They're saying, but why not ask her why? Like if he was wanted
yeah.
to do it anyway.
Now I see here someone made the comment that after all the talking and all the posts, it's overwhelmingly in favor that she was wrong.
Oh, that she was wrong.
Yeah. So that's what someone commented underneath the post. But then somebody else right underneath him says, well, he was wrong in my opinion. So
Oh.
it was definitely a hot topic. I mean, needless to say.
Needless to say,
But
it was definitely.
I guess initially I would say she was wrong because I'm just not that type of female. I just don't agree with her doing that.
Can I ask you something
Mhm.
totally off that topic?
Mhm.
You used the term female right then, and that has been like another hot topic that has come up
Uh-oh.
with calling women women in certain instances, or ladies, or the women,
Oh,
or
has
women,
it?
and using the term female.
I don't even know why I did it.
Well, but so have you heard any? Have you heard the back and forth
No.
over there are women who don't like to be called, to use the term female when you're not describing gender. When you would say the man in this conversation, you
So
keep
I
calling him a man and not say the male. The male here would do this. You would call
okay.
him a man, but
Mhm.
then call women females.
Hmm.
And
I have not thought about it, Wanda. That is something
That's
totally
good.
subconscious to me. But I get what you're saying, but
That has been a
I
very
don't know what the reason would be. I don't know.
that has come up in our group at one point in time, is the argument over why do we call women females,
Females,
but you don't refer to the males.
and I just
This
said I'm not that
males.
type of female.
I'm not, and so it's almost they
I don't
make it
know.
sound like it's almost coming off as a derog. You're saying it in I'm not that type of female, and saying I'm not that type of woman. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's what
that
I
type.
meant. So
But
would
why do
it?
we
I
use
don't
female
know.
as almost as like
Would it have sounded different if I said I'm not that type of woman? Would it have sounded? Would it have sounded as though I was?
not being so I
I
I
don't
wish I had
know.
my friends who are anti-female, uh anti using the
Yeah,
word
because I
female. I
don't
don't have them
know,
on here. I
and
didn't say that that was
that's
our
not a
topic.
discussion that I've been a
Ever
part
been a
of.
part of
So
that you shouldn't use. There are women who are very
because
against us
but
using female when it's not supposed to be used, because
as you
right
bring
there
it
that
up,
should be
I
female.
think I'm trying to think of all those times or instances where I've heard it or might say it, and one is I don't get along with females like that. I've heard women say that.
Right.
I don't get along with females, or females do too much. Right? I don't know. I
So
don't
it's
know.
almost now using that word
I think it's
and
synonymous. I don't know if it
women
means
and so
anything different.
it I
I don't know.
that'll have to be another topic I'll
Yeah,
bring you back for. I think Mimi and
please.
Dot, our dear, would have that conversation has come up before. So John and Kiana have been going back and forth over the
The,
shoes analogy
the
that you
shoes.
gave
Oh,
for
okay.
if you said buy me these pair of shoes, it being more, you would be more upset if he went and got another pair of shoes
Right.
and you said I want this pair of shoes, and he
And
said I
and
want.
and I guess I don't. What are they saying? What did they say?
So John, replying to Kiana, John said, "Yes, same concept. Disregard of her feelings. Her, if you buy me those shoes, I'm not going to wear them.
Mm.
So him, I'm going to buy them anyway. So we
Now, see,
understand it like that.
I wouldn't be the person to say I'm not gonna wear them, but I would be like, why?
Why would
Why
you go
did
get
you
them
go get
anyway?
those? And I told you I wanted those.
And so I guess in
But
this
I just feel
response,
like that's something that I asked you for. So I feel like if she had said in this particular, about this post, if she had said that's not the ring I asked you for, then it would be, I don't know, like, but the day, that's not the day I asked you for.
I think the
I
day
don't
should
know.
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just feel like it's not important.
even if he did mess up and do it anyway, I think you saying no had bigger ramifications in front of
Absolutely.
his family than
Then the
him.
day that he chose to do
Even
it.
if it was a test, which I wouldn't like the test part of it, but if it was a test, I probably would have passed because I would have been like, yeah, and later been like, I told you I didn't want you to get. But okay, what day we get married? Let's plan the date. I think I just would have moved on and been like, my ring. I'm
Right. So my
married.
thing is she the woman who's gonna post her ring, and like I
Absolutely.
said yes.
Oh, come on. But like you mentioned, we didn't get married. One maybe reason why it didn't even matter to us is we weren't in the social media age
Exactly. Yeah.
of, we weren't in the, now there's parties for gender reveals,
Yeah, none of
there's
that. No.
prom proposals. You have to have a whole shaboongum boongum just to ask you to prom,
Yeah.
when and where, and that has to be where we just who we going with. I mean, it was no like
But I
prom
think
proposal.
oh yeah, all of that is just due to social media.
Social media has
That's
caused
all
us.
for the gram, right? Like
Oh,
we
right.
yeah.
So now they have issues because she wanted this bigger. She wanted it to be epic instead of, didn't, no mention of love or wanting
Yeah.
it to be this
Is your
beautiful
love
occasion.
epic?
Right. No talk of epic love, just epic day. But
Yeah.
that's our opinion. Kiana, you're on the opposite, I see. Or at least
Kiana.
not opposite, but just seeing it more so
From his point of view.
no, I think she, from the women's that he should not have
Oh,
gone
okay. He
against.
should what she
He should have
said.
done what. Why ask her and not do it? I just, why go do it anyway when she specifically said don't do it? So
Yeah.
I think that's.
But he didn't now, according to the post, he didn't go to her and say, baby, Is it okay if I? She just basically said, we've been talking about getting married, and I told him not on these days.
Oh, so she didn't ask. Because I
No,
did feel like it was dumb to ask and do it anyway. But so Kiana said there's obviously more going on in this
way
relationship than
more.
just that issue with both of them. And we agree with that. What if I wanted to see you in a certain pair of shoes? If I'm buying them and it's something I want to see you in, then that changes the context of not getting a specific shoe you like. And if it's a gift, you may have told me you like these
Right.
shoes, but I got there and it's my gift to buy.
So, like I
So do I
said,
get to get you the shoes?
I'm still gonna wear them. I am that woman. I'm still gonna wear them. But yeah, I mean, it's a matter of if I felt like if this was something consistent, then yeah, I would have an issue. If I'm consistently saying, "Ooh, I like that. I want that," and you get me something completely different, then yeah, I probably have an issue
Well,
because you're consistently going against what I'm saying.
for me, I specifically this exact little topic for me is not a trigger, but it does bring up a real big memory. So I know I would do opposite on purpose. Is because I do remember watching my father's deflated face when he would go and buy my mother something that he was so proud of his big purchase. He had been to Bloomingdale's and let someone like the he obviously was fell victim to them trying to sell what they want to sell you for Valentine's Day or and so him spending all like coming all proud with his gift and showing it and my mother's like that's not what I asked you for and I just have a memory of his face looking so hurt,
disappointed.
so disappointed and I remember that on more than one occasion of my father's face like being like because
So was it an issue of your dad not listening to mom? Because if she said that's not what I wanted, or I you know, or was it an issue of her not being more specific and saying, I want this? Because I feel like a lot of times with my husband, I don't want to tell him what I want. I really want to see if he knows me well enough to go out and get me what I want or need. Right? Because my husband's the type, he'll come in the house with boots. Like, baby, you need boots. So I bought you boots. Doesn't have to do anything with if I wanted boots. He's like, no, you need boots.
You need boots.
And so he'll
but
do
what if
that.
he had asked for perfume and he brought home boots?
If he felt like I needed boots, I would accept that from him because, again, if I want perfume, I can go out and buy perfume. I don't have to receive in a gift something that I want.
And I because of having vivid memories of just seeing this deflated face more than once, and like this, that if you buy me a gift, it's what you wanted to get me. That's how I feel. And then I just let it be. If it was your intention for me to have this, whether I asked for something or not, I tend to, if I really want it now, if I get what I want, then there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reminded of, like how children behave a lot of times at Christmas, right? Like they open up those shirts and pants and they just like, thanks. All right. And you can tell they're disappointed. You can tell they're not thankful for that gift. And as parents or adults, we always get on them and say, you need to be thankful that somebody bought you something. You need to go and say thank you because somebody did something for you. Right. So in relating it to the topic, why couldn't she just be thankful that she has this man who loves her enough to propose to her, regardless of that?
Especially because she's an adult now. A 7-year-old just wants what he told Santa to get him.
Exactly, right. But I think she may have been behaving a little childishly in that manner, and that I just didn't get what I want. And she goes on to say, now his family thinks I'm a spoiled bee, because that's kind of how you were acting. You were acting a little spoiled.
So Kiana says, so he bought your mama what some other woman wanted him to buy for Valentine's Day. Now that I'm saying, I wasn't there, my mother wasn't there. I'm just kind of just jokingly saying that may have
The
been what
salesperson.
happened, but that the salesperson, because I don't think my father really knew. But I think it was more of you. If somebody sells you that this is better for her, and you want her to have what you think is the best, because she
I,
hasn't seen it.
I'm
She's
thinking in that instant, in that example of your dad, your mom and dad, I'm thinking that he may have come in with that chest stuck out and that pride in that he remembered. He took time to go get something, and now I'm presenting it to you. So in his mind, he was probably like, now you happy about, just be happy about it, accept it. Because I don't think a lot of times in those instances it's him really, it's the man really.
he wasn't trying to be defiant of not getting my mother. I don't get the feeling at all that he was trying to be defiant, like to get what he wanted instead of what
Right.
she
No, I
asked
think
for.
he was just happy to go out, get
He was
something.
proud of that. I got you this
I
gift for
remembered
Mother's
this
Day.
day. I remembered this moment. I went out, I bought something, and I'm coming home with it. Right. And so I think the expected response is appreciation.
That's the thing that was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it wasn't what you wanted, the
Mm-hmm.
appreciation factor, I think, for men is a lost thing for
Absolutely.
many men. They lose the thing of being appreciated.
I
I do
agree.
think that that's it's this expectation instead of this appreciation for what you do. It wasn't what I wanted.
And
It
so
wasn't
why couldn't
the
this female, why,
appreciation.
I'm sorry, why couldn't this woman, I
Don't
just,
change it if I just
oh my God.
no, women do get upset about it.
Why couldn't this woman just accept and appreciate her fiance in that moment?
And that's where I feel like for men, and I get their angst with this because I start to feel it too. Like, why do they then you don't appreciate that I even did it? I mean, why
Right.
do I lose all appreciation that I got you the ring and I got you and I did this for you, and then I do
And you
think
hit me with embarrassment too.
I I do think that we do not, as women, some of us, not all, not you, girl.
Not you.
I'm not talking about you. Talking about your friend, your cousin.
Not you.
I'm not talking about you. Some women, I was one of them because honestly, I'm going to say at some point in time, I was the type of woman that felt like I asked you, you didn't do what I told you, and there was no, oh, thank you. You went about this for me. What initially came out of my mouth was, this is not what I asked for. I said this. I told you I wanted this. Why didn't you get this? Because I have a list of what I want. And I'm like, why didn't you
And
get this? And
I
the lack
rarely
of
ask for
appreciation.
anything. I rarely ask for anything. So my husband's the type where, oh, I see this. Like I said, he thinks about what he noted, what he notices about me. It's never really about
That's
me
so
saying,
thoughtful.
babe, I need you to get me, because I can go out and buy whatever I want for myself. So I don't need my husband to buy me anything. But when he's out and he sees a pair of shoes or a pair of
And
gym
it's not a
shoes,
birthday holiday. He'll get them. I love that.
like that's the part where that's when I'm like, oh,
He knows you.
he noticed, he thought about me, he didn't have to, all this other stuff. So I think, yeah, you have to just be a little bit more open. Now, if I don't know how she would have felt if it just would have been a day where they were going for a walk and then he just got down on one knee and proposed. Like, would that have been
And
epic
I
for
saw
her?
right, and I wanted to say I was thinking, what if he didn't even ask? They didn't never even had that discussion.
Right,
Then
and he
what
just
would have
did
happened?
it.
Would she have said no then because it wasn't epic? But
Right, like I don't understand what, I mean, epic is different for everyone,
right,
but I don't know. It's almost like she's dissing everybody who's gotten engaged on Christmas or Valentine. Like, what's wrong with that?
I do think right. She's dissing them, but if that's what they want though,
Right.
because I too
Like, why is
would
it not epic?
would have been like at some point in time in my life, I'm talking getting engaged, maybe what their age is in the 20s. I'm different now, but
Right.
in my first, I would have probably been that woman though that said, don't, not the engagement. I didn't care what day I got engaged.
Mm.
Like I said, I don't even remember the day. I don't remember the date whatsoever in my mind of the
Okay.
date I got engaged. I don't know the date. Do you remember your date? That's
Well,
another
it
thing I
was
think.
Christmas Eve.
Oh, yours
No,
was
I mean, I'm
Christmas
sorry, New
Eve.
Year's Eve.
Yours was a holiday,
Yeah.
or something that you
And
could
that's the
attach
only
it to.
reason I remember.
But maybe that's why some guys do it, though. Honestly, maybe that's why he wanted
But
to
somebody
do it.
also commented that it's not the marriage date, so it's not going to be your anniversary. You
Right, it's
know,
not even gonna be a date that you go back and do. Who celebrates the day we got engaged?
no,
Nobody.
I hope no one.
I hope nobody. You got enough things
It's
to.
too right. It's too many things to remember.
But I don't even remember the date, and not that somebody else. Maybe they do want that date, but I do think that may help for a guy. He may even be thinking, "Man, I'm gonna throw it on Christmas because I'll remember."
Yeah.
And not that you even remember, yo.
Yeah, the proposal date. I don't
don't
think. I don't know. All of that doesn't necessarily, to me, matter.
I do think though the appreciation. I do think that's a component
Oh, yeah.
where some men are lacking feeling appreciated.
I agree.
In there because of this. I have to make you happy. I didn't do what you wanted me to do. And now it feels like it's not appreciated. And sometimes it's probably not, because you still didn't do what I told you to do. But I think if we could start working on maybe thinking of more loving ways to do and act
Yeah.
and say things.
Yeah, we have,
And
and I think I saw another post in the group. Just a woman was sending a man a text, just saying, "Hey, just checking on you, seeing how you doing." And it's like, I don't know, maybe you posted it, but it's like,
I did.
Guys, do you appreciate this? And I was reading a lot of the comments, and I was liking a lot of them, because it's like, yeah, guys want that too.
But did you see a lot of the comments that were saying that's a fantasy, or that is never
they've
that's like a
never
unicorn.
that's
They've
never happened to me
received that
before. And I'm
before.
like, and that's why I was like, it's in my book. Like,
It's in your book. Which
well,
one?
just the overcoming obstacles in your marriage. I put like after every segment, I put a text that you can send to your spouse.
Oh, let's get the book, y'all. Even if you dating, you still want to be. Oh, so what do you think about how much time we have?
What we got?
You're tuned in to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com.
You got 10 minutes? What?
Oh, okay. I got about 5.
Oh, okay.
Our super producer let me go over maybe a little bit, because we do have a show 5:00 Ed Talk, and he's like the financial guru. He brings you somebody powerful to help you with your finances. But I forgot what were we talking about? What was I going to bring up? Oh, I was going to ask you something. What was I going to ask you?
I don't know. I was talking about the book. We were talking about text messages, and I was talking about the book. And I don't remember, but it'll pop back in your mind.
About trying to remember what day and time his show is at 5:00 on Intellectual Radio. That I forgot about what came to me. But a topic that was in alignment with this that had come up. I'll get to some of you all's comments, so maybe it'll come back to me, because it just went away when I tried to remember that. So I thought we were still talking about the shoes, but yeah, they're going. I'm not saying I would do things the same way. I'm just saying her reasons and motivations behind saying no don't have to automatically be negative. I
think they would be. A no is negative.
Small glimpse.
It is a very small glimpse. I agree with that, but no is negative.
No, how many times is no? Positive when you're trying to, I guess, do your balancing. But in that scenario, I think that was pretty negative to say no in front of his family on Christmas Day because you didn't get your way.
Yeah, and we don't know. I agree with that. I agree.
More to it.
But from the outside looking in, I mean, there are only so many questions you can ask. And that why, one being why does the day matter so much to you? And just because he did it on that day, that completely changes the fact that you want to marry. So is she saying, I'm just saying no to you because you asked me on this day? Yes.
To me, it's manipulative.
On both parts, like the point you made earlier. So it's just like, why are we doing this cat and mouse thing when this is supposed to be something so much bigger than that? Like they both completely minimalized what the proposal was supposed to be.
They both did.
Yeah, they both did.
So my ruling, Judge Jury said they both were wrong. I had to come out with who was wrong.
Yes.
So I need both of y'all to do. I said what I said around that tea and tiny morality combo.
Who is that?
That is Tucson has a show. I said what I said.
Oh,
Hey Katrina, my St. Margaret of Scotland family. Hello, hello, hello. I love my grammar school. Do you remember your friends from grammar school? Did you go
absolutely.
there all 8 years, or did you go to multiple grammar schools?
Nope. One school in Maywood, Garfield School.
Oh, you still live and teach in your same neighborhood that you grew up in?
Mhm.
That is so special. I
So
love
when
that.
I
You're giving
graduated
back to your
from
community.
Garfield School in 1990. Um, Proviso East 1994, NIU 1998, and I went back to work at Garfield. So I had only been gone from the school 8 years
Before you went right back into the I love
before I
it. And
went
your son
back.
is back into it. Is he in the same Garfield or he's
He's at Irving Middle School, but in
okay?
Maywood, yeah.
But still
So
in your community. I
yeah,
love it. I love it. I love it. Giving back to your community. I keep coming up with like questions popping in my head that make me want to ask that. And then, because we were talking about earlier, I have a birthday coming up, y'all.
when your birthday,
Aquarius, my
Wanda?
birthday is Valentine's Day, which is another day. Don't propose to me or do anything on Valentine's Day. Do not. That is my special day, and it will not go. I'm joking. Sorta.
Sorta. A little bit.
Sorta. Why compound holidays like that? Because my birthday, we don't really need to have other days. But never mind. I'm just talking. So, sorta.
A little bit.
A little bit. So I was on social media, and somebody that I went to grammar school with, and you're not on the thread. I don't see that you're watching, but if you watch the replay, I'm not saying your name, so I'm not talking about you, girl. But I saw that she was like, celebrate my this number birthday.
Okay.
We graduated together. You just can't be that young. I mean, we're just not. It's
so she
8 years difference. Yes, 1 or 2. I don't think you made that many doubles. Do they even make doubles anymore? Do you remember the doubles?
I do remember doubles.
Do kids make doubles anymore?
No.
I don't think
There's no doubles, and there's no longer retention in our district. So
you don't get like you were held back. They
no,
don't hold kids
not in
back.
my district. Mm-mm. Now I know in other places I think it still happens, but not where I work.
In CPS, do they do it? I think
they do.
They have mandatory with 3, 6. What are the years that you could be retained? 3.
Okay.
They have the 3, 6, and 8th grade that you go into a special thing to get over the hump to go ahead and go forward. But I do think they have. I forgot the term.
Because I think what will happen is a lot of parents might transfer out if they know that might be an option for their child. They transfer them out, and they'll probably usually bring them to our district because
they know your district doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So
that was just random. But
I'm telling you guys why my head goes. I don't know if adult the ADD, and I don't want to claim no things, but I swear my head be going, oh, look at that. What about that? So I have things be going and topics be popping in my head and questions. Show suggestion for the future. So you popping something else in my head, John. Why have so many women depress their feminine attributes and replace them with masculine attitudes? Ooh, that is a good one. Okay, yeah, John. Maybe you'll have to come on for that one. We'll come on. Jada, you back?
I'm coming back for everything.
Okay. So now I was like, you're not that age. I think the number was 42. Just say I'm older than 42. Mm-hmm. So she put that she has celebrating her 42nd birthday.
Okay.
And I was like, we graduated from 8th grade together.
So she would be around
on top of doubles.
So she would be around your age.
I'm thinking she's a year or 2, give or take, because she could be super smart and made a double.
Okay.
She could be.
So she was fibbing. She was fibbing.
She's fibbing. I like the number. I mean, I'm with her.
Yeah, it's not a bad number, but
it's not a bad number.
It wasn't her number.
It's not her number. So I was like, happy 42nd birthday, boo. I'm like, you're not that number.
So why?
But I'm okay with going with it. But just she and I, we gonna roll with it. But then I have my other friends that put in their real age, which then tells my age because we all graduated from 8th grade together. And Katrina, who's on here, you're probably about the same age because we graduated from 8th grade together. So
I think
is it wrong to lie about your age?
Is it wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Let's
No, I don't think it's wrong, but I don't understand the reason behind it.
You don't understand I don't understand that reason for that number. I mean, she was so specific. I was like, I wouldn't tell the
that
number.
Was her year. That was her year. She gonna 42. Stick with
I'm claiming it's the anniversary of my 42nd birthday. Now I will do that. Now I have to celebrate the anniversary of my birthday instead of
I mean,
number. But I think that's her business.
Is there? Do numbers matter?
I don't think they matter anymore.
No.
As I come up with a new number that's coming up, I'm just happy to be alive.
Exactly.
Penny, I mean, you say you tell your age.
I forget my age a lot of times.
I do forget it.
I ask my husband, like, babe, I'm
because don't you? There's an age that you feel. Because that's why I claimed her 42. Because I was like, we 42.
For one, I get all the time. Oh, you don't look like you got a son 23. I get that all the time. I know I don't necessarily look my age. I'm height challenged. Everything goes against me looking 44. And so, I mean, but I accept it though. I don't want to look.
I don't want to look. I'm now getting that. I'm getting more realistic, like the numbers. I'm like,
because I realize now that I'm older, like my mom doesn't look her age. I do believe that we as African American women, we age beautifully. Yes, I totally believe in that.
Men and women, because the men look young and the women look young.
Look, I mean, I know we just lost Cicely Tyson, but I think she was absolutely beautiful.
92, she did not look. I don't know what I think 92 should look like, but she had a youthful spirit.
But my husband and I were joking because he was like, his first interaction with Cicely Tyson was like, watching her be Miss Jane Pittman, and I was like, I thought she did look that old. The makeup didn't look
old a long time,
but she's been older a long time, and she played older
characters even when she was younger. Yes. So as she aged, it's just like she never aged.
Exactly.
But she was, I don't know. I guess
that's like Wanda from Good Times. Like she always looked old to me. She was Pearl on 227. I don't remember her real name.
Oh, which one now? Which
Pearl on 227 that always sat in the window.
Okay.
But she was on Good Times too. Her name was Wanda on Good Times. But she just looked the same to me. Like
Marla Gibbs or the other character?
She was another character, not Marla Gibbs.
What's the other
Marla
one?
Gibbs was Florence. But
Florence.
Yeah.
That's who she was.
But I mean, just like, when you watch these people, and like you say, they play people that are older, like, because I always joke about Megan Good. I'm like, I don't understand Megan Good's timeline. I don't understand.
Right,
because she'll play a high school student and then she'll play a grown woman. Like,
I act. I've been in plays.
Right.
Some of the people I know that know me from that. But one reason I stopped doing it is because I was like, I don't want to be nobody's grandma. It's like at a certain age,
I was gonna ask you
as being people's grandmother. This one guy,
how do you get cast?
Gio, that he was playing he played my grandson. I was like, we're not that different for me to be, and how they.
But I think it was like
you,
like Lee, what's his name, Lawrence Fishburne playing Cuba Gooding's dad, and
right, and you go, y'all like 5 years of 6 apart. Like, I'm not your grandma. I'm like, I can't be his grandmother. And I did it for a while.
Is that a big thing in acting, like the way they cast you?
They lied. There's so many 38-year-olds. I'm like, y'all all can't be 38. Every actor, the age they stop aging, they're mostly 38. Look at all their resumes. You be like 38.
So is it something about being 40 and acting?
40 takes you over. Now if you put that you're 40, you now be cast as somebody's grandmother.
Oh,
I mean, that's been my experience. Goodness. I don't know in Hollywood. I didn't make it all the way to Hollywood.
That's crazy.
But I've always started to be the grandmother, not even a mother. I'm like, I can't be the grandmother. Why I gotta have a teenage grandchild? Boo.
That is really
so wild. I was like, but if I lied about the number, would you? And then I realized when I looked at other people, they would be half 38. All of them would have 38. So Penny, you say you don't look your age. I don't know your age. I don't know the number, but I say you look good. Period. I think I look good for my number. I think if I don't tell the actual number, people think that I think perception.
Oh yeah.
Because I've had people. I am now. A grandmother.
You're a grandma.
I'm a grandmother.
Congratulations.
Don't nothing make me feel older than being somebody's grandmother for real.
Yeah, I tell my son all the time, I'm not ready. Now, I had him when I was 21. And so he's past that age, so I can't tell him, he can't be a father. That would be very hypocritical of
Seeing
me.
that I was also
seeing as that I brought him into the world at
I
21.
wasn't ready.
But I just know I'm not ready to be a grandmother, though.
I want to throw out there,
but I mean,
number,
it's a congratulatory thing. I'm happy for you. But I mean, you don't look like a grandma. You don't look like nobody's grandma.
But I've had people say, you wearing that and you a grandmother?
Oh, really? Now that
and so I'm like, how do grandmothers?
But see, grandmothers should not define who you are. It's just who you are in relation to someone in your family. But it shouldn't define like how you dress and talk and act. And
I don't feel comfortable saying the number. So when she said 42, I'm like, yes, we're 42. I'm with you, girl. I was like, I know you're not. But
no, I will definitely say my age. I've never lied about my age for any. I mean, maybe when you're younger, you try to be 21 to get in somewhere.
Lie about being older.
Yeah, but I mean,
I would lie. Right, you say you're older than you are, but I'm going to work on it. But by the time of my birthday, I'm going to see if I'm brave enough to actually just give the number and not
just
care.
Give your number.
I can't.
You can't.
With her.
I'm gonna investigate your number. I'm gonna find out.
I will tell it off air. I will tell it off air.
I think you've probably told me before.
Probably not.
I think you probably have.
I think I probably have.
We talked a lot.
We have talked a lot, but that's one number I don't usually give. I'm gonna be Cecily Tyson finally giving it out. 96.
You're 96.
That's when I'm gonna be totally okay with. And I'm not begrudging all the people who are very happy to tell their number. Yeah. I don't, you know why? Because I don't feel the number. The number sounds old to me. I don't feel that number. I don't feel it at all. I feel like I can get in the
yes.
But you move so much in your seat.
But I think though it just contributes. So I feel like you should say your number because it's a contribution to us as a people, us as a culture. Like because we age so beautifully and gracefully. I think we should embrace our number because none of us, I feel, actually look it.
I get it. You know what? I don't like the limitations other people have on the expectation of what they think that number should or should not be doing.
So that's why I say you embrace your number because if you take ownership of it, then I think that lessens the amount of control that other people have over it.
Now that I agree with, girlfriend.
Right.
I totally believe that you take away that power when you don't, when you have control over how
you're giving them a lot of power right now by not telling you.
That's why I'm just 42. I'm gonna work on it.
Yeah.
On my birthday, I'm gonna tell the number, maybe. Sort of. We'll see.
Now I'll be messaging you up until that day. Like, Wanda, you ready?
Becoming a grandmother with that number is just all too much. It was too much.
You had, you've had a lot more to embrace, right? Because now you're trying to embrace that role of grandma or net. So what do you want the baby to call you as they get older? So like, this has been a topic.
And do you know my daughter has said, "Ma, you gotta come up with what is she call?"
I had a grandparent to be like, because I was talking to my student on Zoom, and I was like, "Is your grandma there?" And the grandmother was just like, she was like, "No, they don't call me grandmother. I'm Nana." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Nana." Like it's a big thing, and my mother was like that. These kids will not call me Granny. You know, like I'm Nana.
Oh, don't say Granny. I'm working on that too, y'all. So I've gone through that.
Yeah, you got to figure out what the baby gonna call you.
And my daughter has been very frustrated with me because she was like, "You're gonna have to decide." Because at first I was,
you got to tell your number and your name.
Two things I have not gotten used to. Just even saying I have a granddaughter actually is nothing I've said out loud, and it's helped me because my daughter's. My granddaughter's father does not want me to post pictures of her on social media.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't know.
And so because I'm not allowed to post pictures of his daughter on social media, which I'm honoring his request.
Absolutely.
Even though it's my granddaughter.
Yeah.
I should be able to do what I want. It's his daughter, and I'm honoring his request that I have never posted a picture of her on social
And
media.
so how
She's
many?
one. She's on.
Oh,
She's just one.
wow. Okay.
She's one. So I haven't posted a picture of her to honor his request. He doesn't want his daughter on
That's
social
good
media.
though. I don't know if I could have went a whole year without posting my grandbaby.
I have never posted a picture of her, and I'm not going to as long as he tells me I can't.
Yeah.
That's another topic?
That's a
Is that wrong? I want to honor his request. It's his child. It's not mine. No.
Yeah, I think you're being very respectful.
Wrap it up.
I think you're being respectful. That's a good thing.
Okay, so I went on to, if I naturally, y'all, this is how I would naturally talk.
Yes.
If I didn't stay on the little topics I tell y'all gonna talk about, my mind would take us to about 8 different topics. But that's what I do here on He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. I so appreciate you. Tucson, Kiana, all my virtual co-hosts, y'all hung in there all 2 hours too. Y'all some bad mother. Thank you, y'all. I so appreciate y'all. Y'all just don't know. However age I am, 42, like my friend on Facebook. No, she ain't 42.
Well, I'm 44, everyone.
You're 44. I'm younger than you now.
Yes, I'm older than Wanda.
You know what? I so appreciate you all. I know I can't say it enough how much it really touches my heart that as I go on this thing, my journey of life, however old I am, my birthday, February 14th, y'all can send the gifts to Intellectual Radio. However old I am, that you guys are with me. I feel it. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, too. Thank you, Kiana. Thank you, John. All my virtual co-hosts who chimed in. I swear I feel badly when I can't see all the names to read them off, but I so appreciate you. You like wrap it up. My super producer Earl Winfrey, thank you too. You the bestest for creating this platform for all of us here, Intellectual Radio, that's been around for 12 whole years. That's huge.
Really?
Of us podcasts and radio shows over the years. Thank you. I so appreciate you. And thank you for this extra time because I'm going to get off because I know there's a show coming up. But thank you, guys. Thank you, Jada.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast.
Oh, thank you. That was fun. The music coming up.
It's the Oscars up in here.
The Oscars, the music is coming on me, guys. Thank you, guys. See you next week. 2 p.m. He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. Thank you, guys.
He said, she said, clearing up the drama.